voice, that he was a pure and righteous being. And this is the major criteria for becoming an ancestor. And this is how they viewed Asar, as an ancestor par excellence. But in the story, it happens that Asar is attacked and is butchered by enemies of some sort, which might call the Seba'u fiends. But whatever, at any rate, these people, whatever,
Set and his 72 generals,
right, who went against, who essentially killed Asar. And the way in which they killed it is of most relevance, is that in the story they butcher him into several parts. They have to dismember him. And that has particular significance because in many African religions and many African cultures, once the body is dismembered, the body itself is a soul. So the body is called in ancient Egypt, called the cat. And the body houses the other souls, the several souls. This is the Sekhem and the Ba and the Ab. This notion of one soul, this is foreign to many African religions. Even the Akan talk about 4 souls. But in ancient Egypt, they talked about 8 to 9 souls. Even the very name of an individual is one of their souls. And also the fact that the physical body is called a cat, this is where we get that saying that the cat has 9 lives. Physical body housing 9 souls. And so by him cutting and dismembering up the bodies, the Egyptians saw that as a kind of a spiritual annihilation, which is why in many African cultures, many African peoples, when there's war, they end up taking machete to each other and cutting each other up. In no African culture you ever find them dismembering bodies. In many cultures, they would never what's the word for it? Would burn bodies. That was just never done. So, which is why you find
cremation.
Cremation is many African cultures is not done. They believe that the physical body houses the other souls, and for the other souls to be intact, the physical body as well has to be intact. Which is why the ancient Egyptians spent so much time and energy in preserving the physical body as a house of all the rest of the other bodies. So, as he got mutilated and dismembered, and this would, in that sense, mean of spiritual annihilation and non-existence. And so, what this caused was his wife, which is what we call Isis, whose mysteries were all over the Nile Valley, and then eventually spread throughout Europe. And the Isis, or Osset, had a special place. She was his wife. And I think we can best describe Osset as a kind of a master, either a priestess, an herbalist. She was well-versed in Hekau, or words of power. We kind of like call her, today we'd probably call her an Obia woman or something. But
she was a voodoo priestess.
She was a priestess, period. If you look at any text, she's always called upon for her particular words of power, her insight into the names of the deity. So when he was no longer existed, somehow she was able to commune with the deities, in particularly Jehuti and Ra and Ma'at. Many of the other deities, or get rid of the word deities. Talk about Neteru. All the other Neteru, and somehow these Neteru were able to give her the necessary incantations and formulae to resurrect, to bring together this, to bring him back from non-existence to existence. And so this what she did, which is depicted in the temple of Dendera, staged by each step of the process by which she was able to reconstitute his body, is depicted clearly in Temple of Dendera. And I remember I went to Egypt in 2000 and saw it for myself on the walls in Dendera. And when she brings his body together, what she does with the incantations, the formula, and the oils necessary, she was able to anoint his body. This was the formation of the first, what we call mummy. And in Egypt, it's not called mummy, it's called Christ. The word Christ has the origin of the word Christ